Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live. For my goodness, it's coming down to the end, Trey. This might be the second, third, who knows? This could be the last episode we record in this studio. TSS Universidad. I am joined by what might be the most handsome guest of 2025 so far, Trey Marchant.
The year's yet young.
All right, correct me now, just off the top. How do you pronounce your last name?
No, yeah, Marchant.
Marchant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See,
you got it right.
I don't know about that. That's a stretch. Denver comedian, all around great dude. Hosts a monthly show at Tekka Asian Cuisine.
Yep.
Are you also doing one at that thing with Grayson at his pop-up shop, or what is it?
Oh, at the Denver Market, his bodega show.
Dude, they're bringing like deep city comedy to a very metropolitan, spread out Denver scene. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think that we are going to bring that under the Cutting Back Comedy, our production duo umbrella at some point, but we haven't just yet. He just wanted to do the inaugural show just on his own and then see if it fit under our umbrella. But yeah, I think that's going to be also under the Cutting Back Comedy.
You can push that away from you just a touch, maybe, mate. Because I feel like I'm cutting off part of you. Maybe being over here.
All right. So you say that y'all are about to move out of the studio? What's up?
Yeah,
with that?
just, rental prices and markets, classic. Got to try to save a couple $100 and move, 8 blocks? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Pretty short, but
for a couple $100 a month?
Yeah.
What are you?
Right now we're at like 31.
31.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, Grayson and I are at 26. And
yeah, that's more where I could tolerate.
Yeah, we've got such a good deal. Also, did they try to jack up the rent at like the last minute? Is that how that went? Or you guys
it was probably going to stay around the same. It was just I needed to explore. Plus, we had a bad utility situation basically that kind of snowballed into thousands of dollars of looking back at like, okay, wow, this is ridiculous. We got to figure out a better. We can't be paying this much a month to live. To have water and electricity. We're not using this much water, basically.
Okay.
They were billing us for like 35,000 gallons of consumption a couple months. And
how much does that come out to?
$400, $500, like type of
a month.
Like they're like this is like the consumption of like a 30 to 40 mobile home community level.
Are they like constantly running sprinklers or something?
No, it was like fake consumption. And it's like long story short, I had known it was not real because I first job out of college was doing AP processing for a company. It was like looking at utility bills all day.
All right.
I was like, damn, like this isn't adding up. The math's not mathing here, Denver Water.
Yeah.
And I was putting in calls and they were like, no.
35,000 gallons is insane.
Dude, I'm telling you, we spent, I think it's like $2,200 in a year on water, sewer. Insane.
That's wild.
So yeah, I was like, we got to just move just to try to, which sucks because we love the setup here and the vibes, but.
Yeah, I mean, the man's always keeping you down, foot on your neck, with these damn utility bills, these rent bills keep going up, but nothing changes. They never fix the house. They just jack up the price.
There it is. Also, we're like, I think we found a good spot, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a roll of a dice, and even when you own, it feels like a roll of a dice. I don't know. I'm happy that at least we don't have a ownership and property taxes and a water heater that breaks on us all of a sudden, like it could be worse.
Oh yeah, owning a house would be the worst, right?
They say I'm going to own nothing and be happy. It's like, come on.
You'll eat the bugs.
The bugs.
Yeah.
Are they going to get bigger? I want some meat on that bone.
Yeah, we've barely even started to genetically engineer these bugs. We've just got regular base level bugs.
Wait till they can hop and jump for years and years.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Charizard evolution of these bugs.
Dude, they can make those with science, dude. They can do. They can, if we can go to the moon, we can make bugs big.
Yeah. make bugs big. Make bugs big again.
Make bugs big again. Why are bugs so small nowadays? When we were growing up, spiders were big, man. Now they're small. They used to be, man. Remember when stuff was big? Now it's all just normal sized.
Speaking of nostalgia, I have brought a gift.
Oh my goodness, dude! You're the first guest in a long time that graced us with a gift. Well, a couple.
Yeah, well, I saw it in the thing that it's like, gifts are appreciated, and I figured.
Trey, you read?
I do. I read the whole instructions, maybe twice. 1
out of 5 guests reads the whole. I try to keep it brief. I need to shorten it down even more.
He's at the far end.
This is an upper quartile guest of intolerable folks.
Look, when it comes to comedians, you don't expect punctuality or professionalism or legibility. I wish I had said a better word for that third one, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Legitimacy, legibility.
Literacy is what I was looking for. All right, but yeah, speaking of nostalgia, I picked this up at a yard sale just this morning. I thought I was going to bring something crappy, but this actually is quite a find. Dare I say, an artifact of a cultural moment. So take a peek at Chairman Mao coasters.
Ladies and gentlemen. Chris, I'm going to need some Kleenex. I just came in my pants. Wow, that's the... dude.
Yeah, they're different
These
ones.
are incredible.
I think let me know how many different ones are in there. Yeah, we got Mao, the silhouette. We've got bald Mao.
Wow.
Owning the horseshoe.
Oh, the people donning the flag. Oh my gosh. This is kind of like that meme they're using with the Kinzo Abe. Where he's like in the sky for Trump type of thing. Oh, laughing. This is a rare Mao.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
He's got a silly side. You didn't know that?
oh my god.
He is the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wow. What the hell, dude? This is quite literally the find of the century.
Yeah.
Phenomenal gift.
Wow, Trey. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is really quite
That's fucking awesome.
ties the room together, if I will say so myself.
Yeah,
Wow.
I see that this is also a coaster household, so I figure they'll be well used.
That one I got when I was in Germany from a gin distillery, and it's based on Portugal tiles. But these,
Dude, you might have to frame those.
I mean, no, we got to use these. These,
Can you use them?
I think
Hilarious.
the previous guest, we just had a Marxist on. He would have loved these. Connor, you're gonna have to come back and use these if you're watching. Wow. He looks so happy and joyous and all that,
Well, it's hard not to be happy when you own everything and everybody does exactly what you say.
This is a great example of, how old are you? Let me just start here.
33.
Okay. So when you were in school, did they use Nordic countries? Like when I'm 27, he's 20, when we were in school, there was like, oh, these Nordic countries, man, they've really got their stuff together socially and, politically. And it's like, yeah, everyone looks, talks, thinks the same. And like, even then, like all it takes is someone like this to step in and then claim all the ownership of all the stuff to be the sun. And, everybody's just going to
Are you implying that Chinese people all look the same?
No. I'm saying when a culture is very homogeneous, it's easier to have a unified social structure and a safety net that everyone buys into because the identity of the people is beyond the self. Whereas in America, we've got just super deeply ingrained individualism and a very heterogeneous, culturally diverse country. And because of that, I don't think it's as easy for everyone to buy into, let's see, poster number 3, where everyone's holding the flags,
Some good old nationalism.
Yeah.
I mean, as if we don't have nationalism here, though.
Not like this. Not like this. See here.
I guess y'all were alive during 9/11. There was like a massive moment of rally around the flag nationalism.
Oh, dude, if we were like in high school when that happened, we would have both probably died in the Middle East fighting for someone.
Well, I'm glad you were too young to enlist then. Because what a waste of a life.
Yeah, what a waste of a life for real.
Multiple minds. Oh, agreed, man. But like totally.
Yep.
Sentiment.
But I've heard that rationale before for, like Sweden and Norway, they can have healthcare because everyone's homogenous. It's like a very homogenous society. And I think what you said, where it's less of an individualistic society, is much more important than the homogenous. Because I'll hear people say like, oh, it's a homogenous society. And I'm like, are you saying just because like I'll pay for healthcare if it's for a white blonde person?
No, it's
you mean societally homogenous.
Yeah, for people to buy into systems that don't always benefit them, it's easier when the people they benefit look and think and talk like them. So it is a like across the board a racial thing, a characteristical thing, a cultural thing, like the in-out group thing of peoples. Like on a global macro scale. That's all I meant.
No, I get that. I'm not trying to critique. I just...
No, I like the critique, please.
From where I've heard it before, it sounds like, well, you can only do socialism in a white country, which I'm like, that's crazy, dude. I have more faith in Americans than that.
Here's I guess what I was trying to dig at is it's easier to execute meaningful, impactful, I'm not making an ethical case, but impactful in outcomes socialism.
To the contrary, though, FDR, New Deal, put in all these things into, well, I realized there was pushback, but also
highway system, fucking fabulous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, why didn't we have anyone else do some New Deal stuff? Because like you can pull up a Russian or anywhere there's, you know, unified, agreed upon stuff, and they can just draw a circle around a city and be like, no one owns property in these places anymore because it's everybody's going to benefit from us having a very well established grid type of a, or you know,
that's how they have high-speed rail in China. Yeah, exactly, from eminent domain.
They just have to take it. That's the only way. There's no, you have to be able to step through that ethical fence of like, man, that's someone's thing or whatever. And we in the United States, I think it's really tough because we maybe only got this stuff because we took it from people type of a deal, right? With the whole Western expansion, and we promised people like what, a bunch of acres and land and promise for risking their lives.
We could have delivered on that so easily, and we just didn't, because, and this has always been the case, and I realized we've got into government skepticism a lot earlier than I expected, because I knew that you were kind of in this vein as well, but there's nobody at the top who's making decisions for anybody who's not also at the top, and that seems to have like kind of been the case since post JFK, when the CIA started running the country. But
I certainly would agree with every part of that. Yeah. Since you had
flip the wings.
Fatal flaw. Fatal production flaw, folks. You're watching someone learn in live time. He set a timer. It's an important part to set a timer to be ready to flip the meat. But what he didn't do is take his phone with him when he went to go flip the meat. So now we've got a timer in the recording space that just continues to emanate.
Are we just going to let it just talk
well,
over
we're
it?
not. It was a democracy, a democratic space. If this was socialism, we could just eminent domain that phone timer out of here.
And throw it into the wall. Right?
Into the wall. Yeah, it would just be
part. But it would never stop because it wouldn't fully break. It just would break the screen, so we couldn't turn it off.
And it might inspire other broken phones to rise up against us later down the line.
Everybody's entitled to a little freak out once in a while, right?
Yeah. It's okay. We're trying our best to riff with this, but it's tough.
We're riffing to the beat, to the cadence of the alarm.
How long is that on?
So too long. You'll be embarrassed when you have to watch back how long.
We'll fix it in post.
Just trying to make leaks.
No, we appreciate you. We shouted you out. It was positive that you had a timer. It's just a learning moment, learning by doing.
You can push that mic back.
Okay. Sorry. Do I keep just moving closer to it?
You can just push it this way a little bit, and then
just because you have more freedom of movement.
Yeah. Well, it'll still pick you up good.
All right.
We've stumbled into, when did the powerful elites buy all the interests and power? And we've both agreed that it happened when the third state was established after JFK was killed by the CIA.
Yeah.
And that's what you missed when you're flipping the wings.
Okay, so just light.
And we didn't think we'd stumble into government.
Just really light conversational topics.
We just breached the 13-minute mark, so.
Is that a record?
I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be. But I think that is, we're getting down to brass tacks very early.
Yeah.
But since that point, yes, like you said, people making decisions haven't been having the interest of those decisions be for anyone but the people with the money and power.
I mean, I think it would be it would be naive to say that it hasn't always been like the powerful making decisions in the interest of the powerful. But I feel like, I mean, the difference between New Deal era programs like Social Security and which actually like that, like, I don't know who that benefits except for
Go killer. Take her out to pee maybe or something. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Maggie.
This day, I swear. All right.
But yeah, the difference between like rolling out the Social Security program versus like cutting taxes. Like we used to, before Reagan had taxes that were up to 90% for income over $500,000 a year. So like the shift happened sometime between FDR and Reagan, specifically in America, where like you don't really see programs to help everybody. Is kind of where I would. But then again, I'm kind of only just getting back into like being really interested in history. So I don't claim to be a historian, and I'm sure that.
What do you think about Social Security? You think good?
I think good.
Yeah.
I think that I understand the rights critique where it's like, how is this only generating or like not generating a return basically? Like,
right.
Is it not even like invested into U.S. bonds, so it grows with the like bond market?
Yeah, I think it is somewhat tied to bonds, but I actually don't know what the payout. Yeah, how the Social Security now is structured
like
in
around
terms of
$3,000 a month for somebody who pays into it their whole life.
Yeah,
for 65 through forever.
But the thing is, like, is it 3,000 of the money that they continue to inflate? That's the part that's scary. Of like, I don't know how these old people that, you know, if they didn't have,
it's not pegged to inflation. Nothing's pegged to inflation because that would be way too fair. Like minimum wage being pegged to inflation. I feel like that should be a day one agenda of any left leaning person who gets into the top office should just, because Biden could have done it day one and he just said no. What was it? Was that the parliamentarian held them up on that one?
Golly.
I think it was a procedural thing that he was like, I can't do it. This one person who I could fire and Trump fired in his term says no. But he just let that one slide.
Well, you know what's tough about social programs that help everybody is that you have to design them for the stupidest quartile, the worst decision-making quartile. Like truly.
Yeah,
because I think we could talk about like haves and have nots, but like ultimately we got to have some conversation about like decisions and outcomes and actions and you know, ownership. And there are people that are fucking stupid from the top and stupid from the bottom, like births of life, right?
Yeah.
And we have to make egalitarian law in, you know, a theory sense. We have to try to make that for those people not to fuck it up, because they will abuse or ruin it if we don't worry about writing law just for them. And that's frustrating, because there's probably a lot of hardworking people in the middle 30% to 40% that aren't getting served at all and won't get served because we're worried about these, you know, troublemakers down here. And I'm not talking about troublemakers in terms of background or things like people that have put themselves through their continued decisions and actions in bad life circumstance or hurting other people in their circumstance. So
yeah, I don't know. That's like the collectivism versus personal responsibility thing. Like,
right.
Like people have agency, and I don't argue against that, but also that's like a weaponized phrase as well. Like people, I don't know, like, is there a level of stupidity at which I think you should starve to death? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Like that's why we have like food kit, and that's not even just stupidity. That's also like medical debt and like addiction and mental health.
But medical debt in this country isn't really like real. We have socialized healthcare. You just don't pay the bills, and you don't end up like
having a credit score.
Your credit is just gone. But then you can like, no one comes for you. There aren't like roaming Chinese kill gangs that like your credit's below 500. You're dead now. Like, you're still a person.
They can garnish wages at some point though, right?
Yeah, but you can fight that stuff. There's a lot of actual like protections against people, and maybe that's part of the bottom quartile percent argument or whatever that I'm getting stuck in, of like, maybe those are people that they are saddled with $1 million+ medical debt that they actually couldn't have been saddled with because they didn't take a proper navigatory part of the system. Like, there's a law protecting them, and they didn't take advantage of it, type of thing. And that happens way more than we give it credit for.
Yeah, my sister didn't have insurance when she got her appendix taken out. And so it was like 50-60 grand or something like that. And she just didn't pay it for like 5 years. And then the person who bought her debt came to her and was like, I'll let you out of this for $5 grand. And she was like, done. So that you can
that's
just
how
do that.
Yeah, and that's how ultimately how everything works on the big macro scale is a bunch of powerful elites like shuffling debt cards around. Like, I got the king of spades. Like, I'll trade you this for like 2 of those queens over there.
Yep.
And that's the whole the Big Short movie where they took these bad bonds. Yeah, these terrible like underwritten loans that were trash garbage. Like, imagine we got a shipment of, well, this would be a bad example. We got a shipment of the only bad Toyota Hiluxes in the Taliban's elite task force of Toyota Hiluxes. That shipment of Hiluxes arrives here in Colorado, and we're like, well, we can't really sell these. We can't title these Hiluxes, can't sell them. Let's package them together and have them do a wholesale auction. That's kind of what these credit companies and banks did with these bad bonds, is they put them all together and they said, hey, look at this big, shipping container of Toyota Hiluxes like that the Taliban had. Man, isn't this cool? Doesn't someone want this? And then some elite person's like, damn, that's cool. I could put that in my, torture chamber or whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever the elites do, I don't know.
I know you're into economics. I also have an economics degree, but I remember I learned almost nothing about economics in my my 5 years at CU Boulder.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that that was my own doing. I was like, C's get degrees. I'll figure it out once I graduate, and that was a rude awakening. But yeah, an economics degree at CU Boulder doesn't mean a whole lot. Sorry to all
That's
my fellow
interesting.
buffs.
I would have this would have been my economic experience if I didn't. Well, I would have been dead from overdosing, but
yeah, I went to the drunk tank twice and detox twice, and also the hospital once for alcohol poisoning. So,
Nice.
so
Well,
yeah, I had the full Boulder experience, y'all.
I went to Monarch. We went to Monarch in Louisville. So like the majority of our class went to CU Boulder.
Mhm.
And when I was making the decision, I had to make a decision matrix with my mom because she'd been in business. She was like wanting me to make a decision. She was like, you make a decision matrix and you like weight things. You give categories and you weight those categories. And one of the categories was lack of distractions. Well, wouldn't you know it? Cedar Rapids, Iowa is a 10 for lack of distractions and CU Boulder is a 1. So
That's very true.
yeah.
Yeah.
When that weighs heavy in the decision matrix, that's a deciding factor. But yeah, when your classes are, because you have big classes for econ, right? Like your intro classes are how many? What?
150. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. We had 8 a.m.s with Mickey Woo, dude. First class of college was 32 people after the first test, 15.
I never made it to an 8 a.m. my whole time in college.
Never?
No. I even had two
What?
8 a.m.s that I had to withdraw from because I just couldn't get up at 8 a.m. by 8 a.m., man. It wasn't happening. I was like a Tuesday, Thursday, 10 through 4 guy. Like I would just do
Whoa.
long days on Tuesday and Thursday, and then I would just fuck around for the rest of the time.
Hell yeah. Okay. Where are you from? Colorado?
No, I'm from South Carolina.
Okay. So you came out here for college then?
Mhm.
Hell yeah. What was life like growing up in South Carolina? Brothers, sisters? Big
Yeah,
family?
I have an older sister, younger brother. It was fine. Honestly, I've really warmed towards South Carolina since I left. I did not enjoy growing up there because it was just a stifling I was in like, I don't know, there was one point where I was going to church like 6 times a week, and I like hated that, just being like forced into a community that I didn't really fit into. And so like when I left for college, I was able to like discover who I really was as a person. And not a Christian, but
What kind of, was it non-denominational Christian?
no, it's Presbyterian. And I have a fondness for Christians. I think that having like a moral worldview.
God,
that's
wouldn't it be
instilled-
nice?
Yeah, right. Like
That's how I feel. I'm with you. It's
Yeah.
like, wouldn't that be cool if I could just buy in wholesale?
Yeah, 95% of their worldview, like morally, I understand and think it's good. Like the love your neighbor, like be kind and generous and helpful, and all that stuff I think is really good. And then they get it wrong on like gay and other stuff. But yeah,
They, like, don't extend it all the way.
yeah, it's pretty close though. Like it's a good foundation if you just like loosen the boundaries around certain things. But I needed to get out of South Carolina, and now I like going back there, and I'm like, oh, that would be a place where I could have owned a home if I had stayed there. 'Cause I
Yeah.
used to think that the people that I went to high school and middle school and stuff with that stayed there and just like started a business and bought a house and like started a family, I'm like, oh, you losers, you guys never even made it outside your hometown. And now I'm like, they're so well established though, and now they can, vacation wherever they want like twice a year and still be like accruing assets. And also a family, if that's what you're interested in.
Yeah.
No.
Are you interested in family?
No, sir.
No.
Why are you proposition? No.
I mean, who knows? Love finds each other in crazy ways. There might be some lady out there
Love
watching.
finds a way.
Love will find a way to you, Trey. There's some lady out there watching this. Hey, we do have 20% female listeners according to the Spotify data. So
That's pretty good for a spot.
that's pretty good for what we do here.
Yep.
Calling this a comedy podcast is also very loose. Playing loose and fast. There's no government doubters of power category.
I don't know. That's a lot of them though.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. Most of the podcast diaspora is about talking.
And Tim Dillon made a whole career off of
The
that,
best.
off of lampooning it.
The best.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy. Okay, South Carolina. What allured you to CU Boulder?
I always really liked skiing when I was growing up. I only went like 3 or 4 times, but I just love snow, love the mountains, and really wanted to like just a total change of scenery. So, and I saw pictures of Boulder campus, and I was like, holy shit, that looks like a fucking dream. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful campus. And it was super fun. So I have no regrets on that. Although I haven't skied in 2 years.
Well, that's just a cost of living thing, I think, maybe.
It's a hatred of traffic thing for me.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, well, I so right out of college and at the end of college, I dated a Vail girl. So she was from Vail, and she had like all the connections and so many perks that I got to also have, like a
Vicodins too? Come on, folks.
Yeah,
It's a Vail girl, he said, folks.
Yep, Molly Percocet. That's what I named her tits.
Bingo.
No, yeah. So like, there's a gondola club that she had access to that was right under the gondola in Lions Head Village. That like they have boot warmers and like you stash all your stuff below there. And it's literally like she had a parking spot that was right in the city. So literally, I would stay with her family in like a tiny mansion, and then we would drive 20 minutes, park in Vail Village, and then ski all day, and then yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. What the wealthy get to experience.
It's giving height.
Thank you, Alec.
It's giving hype.
It's height.
Height.
It's giving height.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Vail lifestyle. My God, that's bougie. I love that.
Yeah. But I will say, you will feel like a fucking peasant if you date like a mountain woman like that.
Did she? Okay, so I'm always fascinated by this. Because you don't come from money then? Yourself? No. Okay. What... Is it like extra pressure dating a rich girl? Or like, what are they looking for? Like, what keeps them coming back to, like, I don't know. I just don't know how, if you're like a billionaire's daughter, you don't go for a like even more billionaire's guy. Like, I just don't. Swinging down as a girl makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. A million different anthropological studies show that women always want to date someone at higher status. So yeah, dating her, I was like, I don't know. I always felt inadequate. Like, especially around her friends and stuff who were also all like from
They
money.
were probably really kind and down to earth, right?
They were actually pretty down to earth, but there was like an air of like, you're not one of us that I never escaped. So I always felt like an outsider. I switched from, this is so stupid, but I switched from snowboarding to skiing just so that I would stop catching shit from all of her friends. Because they were all like skiing supremacists.
Well,
amongst other things.
You know what you can make with two shapes when you... Yeah, anyway. Skiing supremacy is real. They are, they're not laid back. They don't like to sit down in their buns and smoke a J. They're ripping, to the nearest line, if you know what I mean. What do you think more prominent drug addicts? Snowboarders, skiers? Do you think there's a certain drug for each that we'd want to...
Yeah, I think the
stereotype. We use broad brushstrokes here.
No, skiers would be prescription drugs, for sure, and snowboarders would be all the other drugs.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. So you're going to all these like in-group events. You meeting cool people. You have any like interesting stories from that time in your life? That sounds fascinating. Ever at the Gonda Club and bump into someone weird or someone famous? I don't
know that I'm anybody famous. I had one moment where I realized like, oh wow, this is how wealthy these people are.
Yes, tell me take me into this night and kind of describe for me what that was like.
So my girlfriend's dad, one of his best friends, this guy named Rick, and he was I was talking to his second wife. And she was talking about like, oh yeah, me and Rick used to do long distance too when I was living in like Colorado Springs. And I was like, oh, was that difficult with like the drive? She's like, oh, he flew me private up to the mountains every weekend. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's like 100 millionaire. Like this guy has like, he could spend all day and not run out of money.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. And what did he do for work? How did he make the money? Do you know?
I don't remember. I think I just had this vision in my head of him being like, I'm a land man. I owned a lot of land and I made money off it.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. How crazy is it that there are people that are, millionaires off, I own all the water in this country. And then there are people that sold a shit coin at the right time. What a weird time in history to have. That's pretty egalitarian. There's never been like that before, Trey. You've never had the chance for shitcoin millionaires. You've had to enslave and pillage and rape before. Now you can just sell a shitcoin at the right time.
That's true. Hawk Tuah never could have made it in the Mongol era.
They would spit on her thing.
Yeah, we've made it back to class politics, folks. For those of you keeping track, what minute are we at?
That's 30 minutes, and we wrapped it all the way back around.
30 minutes, so 13 to 30. So I've got an interesting story for the past few days that I'd like to share.
Please, I would be enthralled.
Cool. So you know how the new Oblivion just got released?
Yeah. So are you a big video game guy?
Yeah. That was one of my favorite games in like middle and high school. Love Oblivion. And for those of you who don't know, listening at home, I'm going to start addressing the viewers now.
Please do. They like that.
Yeah, I'll bet they do.
Oh yeah.
They'll
Just when you
like
do it, though.
They will like it. They released the Oblivion remake without any fanfare or like any marketing or anything. They just dropped it into the store. So there was which is like it's the biggest name game that's ever happened for. And I was like, holy shit, I don't deserve this amount of dopamine if I don't like do something to earn it first. So I was like, okay, I'm going to clean my whole area. So I live in the basement with Grayson. I have the whole basement floor. So there, bathroom, room, living room. And I was like, all right, I'm going to clean the bathroom. That's what I'm going to do. My girlfriend's moving in with me this summer in like just a few weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I mean, just for the summer. She's in grad school, so she just comes and lives with us for the summer.
Dope.
But
where's she go to school?
She goes to U of A.
Okay.
In Tucson.
Nice. What'd she study?
Landscape architecture.
She seems cool. Sorry, we'll move on.
No, we can loop back to her. But
we'll loop back. Stay tuned. We're coming back to her.
Yes. But she always gave me crap because there's so much pink mold in my shower. So I was like, all right, let me take care of this before she gets here. So I bust out the bleach and I spray it on the walls and everything. And then I do the toilet as well. And I'm like, all right, sweet. I'm nailing this. I'm crushing it. And then I'm like, okay, wow, I'm getting no ventilation down here. My whole basement smells like bleach. What do I do? Oh, hey, internet, what's it say? Internet says, oh, use baking soda and just sprinkle it around the area to diffuse the smell of bleach. So I throw a bunch of bleach on the walls and in the toilet. And then I realize like a couple hours later, I'm like, I am fucking dizzy. I am so dizzy right now. And so I start Googling. I'm like, don't I remember something from my youth that like you're not supposed to mix something?
They told us one thing in chemistry class one time.
Ammonia. Yeah, they said it was ammonia. You don't mix ammonia with bleach. And I was like, all right, I didn't do that because I know that makes mustard gas. And apparently it's anything that you mix with bleach creates either chlorine or chloramine gas, which I haven't I'm not sure which one of those two I created. Even the poison control people don't completely know. They're like, yeah, it's just toxic fumes that create if you put baking soda on bleach. So I haven't been...
So AI again. They answer the phone. They're like,
AI fucked me on this. The AI overview fucking skimmed it and was like, use baking soda to diffuse the smell of bleach. But apparently you're supposed to do is just like set the carton of baking soda in the room. But who among us would know to do that? So yeah, I haven't been in my basement for more than 5 minutes to set up fans in the past 3 or 4 days. Just been sleeping on my brother's couch.
God.
And I have not gotten to play as much Oblivion as I would like as a result of that.
Holy shit, that was a terrible turn of events for you.
Yeah. And
the AI
mostly because I've only gotten to play like 15 hours of Oblivion. So it would have been so much more if I hadn't.
That's the real travesty.
Dude,
you guys led me astray on this show even. Like,
dude,
you read something and it's like close, but it's like
here's an example.
Critical missing error.
Our sweet child of the studio, Maggie, knocked. Chris took first chicken wing. She knocked the plate down and vacuumed whole wing. Oh. And so we're like, instantly go to Google, and the AI overview right away says make them throw up. Take what is it? The brown bottle.
Hydrogen peroxide?
Hydrogen peroxide, yeah. Give them quarter teaspoon hydrogen peroxide, make them throw up. So they run off to go to get that. And then I start reading below the AI a little deeper. And it's like, no, if they swallow the whole bowl and don't make them throw up, they're going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. It's like fucking AI trying to kill us all.
It's the chewing of the bone that would hurt them. If she swallows the whole thing, I would think that would be fine.
Yeah. See, we're dumb here.
Yeah. But also,
we could use you, Trey.
we try. Well, no, you couldn't, because I also fall for AI traps once in a while.
Damn. So how is Oblivion?
Oh, it's so good. It's so much fun.
Remaster?
Yeah, the remaster. Yeah, it's been very, very fun.
Is it Skyrim again?
The prequel
to Skyrim, but remade.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like
with like current gen graphics, all in Unreal Engine 5. It's really good. It's very fun.
How much does it cost?
$50.
Hell yeah. Do I have to go PC Master Race for this?
No, it's on all platforms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Grant Lucas would say yes, but
this is sponsored content.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Send us a copy. There you go. I don't think we have. We don't do sponsors. Then no one wants to sponsor this, but
yeah, my girlfriend, she was like, did you just create chlorine gas in the basement so you could get out of cleaning in the future? And I'm like, are you accusing me of chemical weaponized incompetence?
Wow. That's a new low for men everywhere.
Which that is a bit, ladies and gentlemen.
taking notes.
That was a bit.
Taking notes. That sounds like a great bit to run.
Yeah.
Chemically weaponized incompetence. That's
yeah. You create one chemical weapon in your basement, you never hear the end of it. Let me tell you. Women these days.
Oh my gosh. The basement's a tough place to be making a mistake like making mustard gas on accident.
Yeah, I've had 5 fans running for 3 days, so hopefully it's fine.
So did you call poison control right away, or what's the?
No. It took a while for me to be like, all right, this isn't clearing. I should just call them. Also, my eyes itch like crazy.
Wow.
So I called them, and they were like, yeah, no baking soda. You created chloramine gas, which I'm no chemist, all right, but it sounds bad.
Yeah, dude.
And
Fuck you up nice and good.
fucking what?
Sounds like it fucked you up.
Yeah,
Chris,
it really
the camera's off. We're going to kick it to break. I know, it just went off. I've been watching too. We're going to kick it to break with our signature station identification. We're going to eat some chicken wings.
Hell yeah.
Have you listened to radio before in your life, Trey?
Mm-hmm.
This is our signature station identification. You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? Be right back.
We could go peruse some pawn shops sometime, Sean.
Yeah, I cannot believe this gift. It's like quite literally. It's so
Dude.
good.
It's,
I was pretty excited about it.
That's crazy. You found it at a flea market or where?
garage sale.
Yeah, yard sale.
Yard sale.
Was it an Asian yard sale?
No, dude. But it does seem like it is from a former party member, right?
Yeah.
You'd think.
That's crazy.
Unless someone bought it ironically because they too thought it was funny.
We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show. Our bellies are full. Chicken. We had some Traeger issues today, so I don't even want to ask for a review, but I'm going to. Would you review that oven baked chicken?
Oh, I really liked them. I had one that was that the skin was burnt, but other than that, all of them were good. And the chicken, like the meat, was moist and good. It was great, man. I enjoyed it. Thank you for the wings.
Oh yeah. Do you have a out of something?
7.5 out of 10.
There it is.
We'll take it.
I love it. That's pretty good.
Audible, we'll take it.
That's the equal scored, actually above the score that Jack gave us for the smoked wings that I fucked up. So fair enough. We need to get like a Top Gun thing going, kind of a like a wall, or Top Gear, where we get a wall and have the timing wall, whatever, ranking wall. But where do you put 7 worms out of, on a scale?
That's gotta be its honorable. Right?
All right, well, we've been talking way too much class politics. We did record a little Patreon if you're interested in our extension of our economical conversation about where we're headed. I thought it was pretty interesting. So head over there. I think it's like the lowest, cheapest we can make it. So please join. You'll get everything we release forever. We're just trying to... Till the end of time. And we ain't gonna stop.
You have a $1 tier Patreon?
I think it's like 2 is like the first run, whatever is at the lowest.
1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, and 5? Okay. We try, yeah.
Nice. Keep them odd numbers.
Yeah. We should do prime numbers only.
Or Fibonacci.
Yeah, there it is. Something really.
Football at all?
What's up?
You a sports guy?
Football at all? Football. Like
Oh.
the NFL.
Not super closely, no.
Do you play sports growing up?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
Yeah, I played Little League, church basketball, and then when I got older, it was wrestling, football, and track.
Nice. Wow. What'd you run in track?
I ran the hurdles, 110 and the 400.
Damn. Might be a little better. There it is. The hurdles.
Yeah, I was a state semifinalist in the 400 hurdles.
Whoa. The 400 is a brutal race. The 400 hurdles is...
It's crazy. I actually, this is funny. This was the low point of my life until I went to college and had adult experiences. I was in the state semifinal race in hurdles, and I was running the 400, and I just went all out. I was way out in front, but I had never gone that hard in a race. And so on the last hurdle of the race, right before the last 100 sprint, I passed out going over a hurdle and fell on my face and scraped up my chest and still finished 5th. But
wow,
I did not make it to the state finals because I passed out.
Did your blood just get cut off air?
Yeah, my heart was going too fast and it just gave out.
Dang. And you came back right away?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, I hit the ground, so I was like, ah. Yeah, there was like my whole chest was like all scraped up, and there was like little rubber pieces, because you know how those tracks are, just like in my skin.
They're coming out with some studies on...
That's a wasp.
Did you see Wasp?
We've got another podcast guest.
Larry the Wasp.
Chilling right there. That's
not ideal. Well,
let me get that.
coming to the end of the time here. The animals are even getting upset that we're leaving. Or maybe they're upset that we've been here. I don't know. That's crazy, though. Keep an eye, would you?
Yeah. First wasp in the pod.
I mean, we've never had a wasp before. I'm sorry, Trey. I mean, what are we going to do?
I was promised no wasps.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, no.
And I come, there's wasps.
I'm sorry.
I was promised smoked wings and no wasps. I've been twice betrayed.
Our balls have dropped today.
We just can't get it right.
Dang. Yeah, I ran track. They tried to make me run track, and I think I did it 8th grade. And they're like 400. And I'm like, I'm tall, but I'm also fat and slow. Yeah, no, brutal. Remember, I think I like almost threw up after that. It's brutal. I did it like one time, and it was it for me. And like competitive obviously last. Come on.
You wanted to kill that thing, dude.
Oh, I see it. It's not even a wasp, is it?
Yeah.
Yellow jacket?
It's going to keep flying around, and you're going to be able to hear it.
Is it a yellow jacket? I mean, if you get a cup, we can try to capture it live on the pod. Yeah, no, go get a cup. I think you might be able to trap it.
I'm going to hit it with a towel.
No, dude, to try to trap it is a better route.
Okay.
Where'd he land?
He's on the Joanne McNally poster right on the Denver on the upper right. He's on the V and the R.
Oh, I see.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, you can't see this, but we are, we've never been faced with something like this, but we kind of adapt and overcome here.
That's what Sean pays me the big bucks for.
Slow. Go slow. That's the key here.
It's a precision operation.
Yeah, you're trying to kill Osama, not,
Where is it?
Okay, wait, look at the poster, the Joanne McNally poster. On the Denver, on the right, upper right. Between the V and the R. You see it? Go slow. You see it? Between the V and the R? Yeah. Slow. And then quick when it needs to be quick. And soft, because it's glass, but soft. Hunter. Oh, Chris is so good at this. Okay, now's your time. Execute.
Oh, wow.
Folks,
Smooth. Very smooth.
Wow. Okay, I want you to show the camera that before it... My goodness, make sure the camera... Come back a little bit, because it's not going to focus if you don't... Yeah. What you know about love, Chris? I got what you need. How sad is it that Pop had to go, dude? We used to love jamming to that.
Pop Smoke, rest in peace.
Pour one out. Hey, will you pour that Yellow Jacket out for Pop Smoke for me?
Yeah, it feels like every young rapper I start listening to dies within like 6 months of me listening to them.
Did you hear that? Who's it? Sugar, the red lady. What's the red lady?
Sexy Red?
Sexy Red. Did you hear that she's a CIA op?
No, I love that. Go on.
I guess Sexy Red. I have to imagine the conversation was something like, "You sit down with me. I'm Sexy Red. You're the CIA person that's gonna, operize me or whatever." And I go,
I feel like I'm more the Sexy Red of this pairing, but all right.
Okay, that's fine. But I'll play you in this Sexy Red scenario. So Sexy Red's with the CIA agent, and she's like, "I ain't no asset. I'm the asset. I ain't gonna be a asset."
What you mean? I'm a magician? Have you seen that?
But yes, Sexy Red apparently is a CIA. Will you look that up too? Did they debunk that since I've said that? Probably.
I'm not sure, man, but God.
Well, I mean, the CIA loves completely just playing war games with communities' color. FBI, CIA demonstrated. They put drugs in communities and then changed the laws about those drug sentencing, specifically to disenfranchise those communities from those families.
Mandatory minimums. Yeah.
It's all. Look it up, do your research, folks. Just hype.
No credible.
Yeah, okay. Well, we don't really need credible. Is that anything? What do credible mean? The Atlantic posted about it? What do you mean credible?
Well, no, I mean, the only thing that she said about it is that she made a social media post claiming that she was like a CIA operative and that the CIA, they got me. Like, the deep states got me. Like, she didn't say shit about anything legitimate or anything like that. And so a bunch of people just started went off rails.
Yeah, her saying that's enough for me.
That's the Hindustan Times.
That would be what she'd say after the whole asset joke I was making earlier. This is 3 years into the op. She's like, "I'm an asset." You guys know I've been an asset. I don't know. Okay, maybe not. Fine. But it would just seem too believable to me. The music industry has been pretty... The Diddy stuff, I figured, the hands were clearly... There seems to be stuff going on. So I thought...
She also went on Hot 97 saying that she wasn't. Like, she addressed that.
So there, she said directly no? It's
Yeah.
made up, fake stuff.
Have y'all listened to the new Kanye?
That's a CIA asset now, folks.
I listened to him on Twitch for all of 7 minutes.
What he sucked his...
Cousin's dick.
There it is.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, it was...
14?
Yeah, until he was 14. Yeah.
Until he was 14.
Until he was 14. He doesn't say when he started, but he does say when he stopped.
How old was his cousin at that point?
I hope also 14.
Yeah, fuck it,
I think so.
If that's what I want to look up.
I mean...
What cracks me up about it is that his cousin has just been in prison this whole time for something unrelated. I think he killed a woman. And he's been in prison watching Kanye freak out, and he's like, "Don't say it, dude. Don't say it. Please don't say it." And then one of his boys is like, "Yeah, that's your man's. That's all his tweet."
That's it.
It's like, "I sucked my cousin's dick until my name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14."
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm in prison shit.
The
That's
song
hilarious.
is kind of catchy at the start.
Hang on. Let's be I want to be abundantly clear about this. Heat. Front to back heat. Musically, it's just heat. I'm telling you, I still venture to put on songs at South when I'm on the board all the time. I'm like, the song's too good. Have you listened to, what's the one with is it Beautiful Mind? What's the Dark Fantasy? That album, that whatever the top song off the My Beautiful Dark Fantasy album is. Goodness gracious. That song is so nice, and people hate it because it's Kanye nowadays. You get a pullback.
See, I got through the whole like separate the art from the artist thing a long time ago.
Okay.
So I'm very okay with
cool.
enjoying. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, it's funny. My my girlfriend has a pair of Yeezys that she keeps trying to sell, and every time she lists them on one of these secondhand markets, Kanye does something else crazy, and she has to delist them because nobody wants to buy Yeezys when he's like, "Yo, my cousin's dick was." Nom nom nom.
Bro, that's like mild though. It's
Yeah.
Things that he's like gone and said.
Yeah, how can I be a Nazi? Yeah. He's wild. He's so fun.
Yeah, genius
so fun
is
to
pretty
watch.
wild. I'm glad we let that guy continue to be a genius in the public space.
See, I think that he is a psyop for getting conservatorships back for artists.
Bingo. I totally agree.
Yeah, they let Britney go, and everybody realized what a mistake that was.
They want to shut down cool
Kanye.
art. Yeah, because cool art requires crazy. Let's be honest. Mark Twain, all the greats, they're all crazy. Going back historically.
How crazy was Mark Twain, other than just his liberal use of that word?
I think he's pretty demonstratively bipolar through the records.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But look that up. Confirm that. Twain, Mark Twain, Huckleberry guy, loves the no word.
Mm-hmm. That's what we call it.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I don't even say that letter anymore.
Big Mike does.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Oh, he loves trying to...
I'm an educated nigga.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chris. I forgot the big Mike can say it for me.
That's great. You've got a big Mike end drop.
I mean, it's kind of like Kanye's music. This sound drop is too good to have like slipped into oblivion. It should make Big Mike is too good.
I'm an educated nigga.
I mean, that's Kanye could, if he got his hands on that sound drop, Kanye, he would make that's like an intro. That's a what is that called? A hook? He's making a hook out of that.
That's a hook right there.
He's making a hook out of that. If Kanye got his hands on Big Mike's sound drop, he's making a hook out of that. I ain't gonna lie. And then bah, 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 I'm a bah, bah, and then educate. And then he comes in with I suck my cousin's cock. Whatever it is.
I gave my cousin head.
Yeah,
That's the.
I haven't heard it yet, but
You really should. It's got like 270,000 listens on Spotify.
Come out. Oh, it's Spotify now.
Yeah, on Spotify. I'm like, how is there only 200-something thousand people that were interested in hearing him talk about his cousin sucking his cousin?
Did he change his name again on this? Or?
It's Ye. Yeah, it's just Ye.
Just pick a lane, bro.
But yeah, I drove Big Mike up to a show in Frisco 2 weeks ago that we were on together. And while he's on stage, he goes like, I've been to the mountains 6 times and I've always had a white man drive me up. It's like a reverse driving Miss Daisy. I'm like, Mike, you fucking asshole.
Big Mike's the best. Big Mike's great because he's like, I think he's got a good understanding of like it's healthier to be joking about these things that instead of like being penned up in our own spaces or heads or thinking that you know you're not advancing people ahead by these bubbling of groups.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I grew up in Boulder, Colorado. Went to public school in Boulder, Colorado. That's the bubble.
Oh yeah,
I can speak for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bubble out the yin yang. So I imagine there's a lot of those bubbles, and you probably come from you sounds like you're coming from an experience of maybe one of those bubbles where you're like, yeah, I maybe don't get along with the perspectives of the people and the cultures that may be around and maybe try something a little different.
Totally. People like being in their bubbles though.
Totally.
Like people don't, it's like it causes psychological pain to have to experience someone else's perspective. So like you have to like really go out of your way to want to like expand your worldview. And a lot of people are happy to not ever do that.
Damn, dude. I wish I was that. It feels like a happier life though, that side of the fence, because then you just think you're right all the time and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's when you get those, when the studies come out with the 50% of people don't have an internal monologue. I'm like, okay, it's making sense.
Yeah. I have a theory those same people don't mind when their smoke detector is beeping. And look, that's not a racial thing, all right? Because my girlfriend and my brother both live in big apartment complexes, and separately, they're not together. And I play a game where I count how many times I can hear a smoke detector chirp in the walk to their door. And my brother's in a bigger, so at my girlfriend's place, it's 6. It's a 25-second walk. I've counted 6 smoke detector chirps, and yeah. And at my brother's, it's a much bigger place, and I counted 8 in a 30-second walk, which is, it's crazy that people just go numb to that. Like there's nothing upstairs if you don't hear that.
Incredible story about this. Have you heard this story before? So in high school, I did debate. My younger sister did debate with me. So I'm senior year. We go for our senior year, end of the year debate party. And we head over to a guest of the pod's house, Manav. And Manav is Indian, has an Indian younger brother that's on the team, an Indian family. And we're headed over there. And my sister is like, oh, it's going to smell bad. And I'm like, Carmen, you can't say that. How can you like possibly even talk about that? Like, that's racist. And then I laughed to myself. I'm like, it probably might, who knows? But like, it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. And we get there and we go in, we have a good beep. So I'm like, hey, how's it going? Beep. So like pretty quickly, I go up to my debate partner, Nathan. I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, I'm not just staying quiet about this for the, 2 hours we're going to be here. Like I hate to be bringing it up 30 seconds in, but like, we're not just doing this. Like, let me be very clear. We're not doing this. And so we go up to him and we're like, hey man, like, I think your smoke detector might be out of batteries. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the beeping. Like, here, I'll come show you. Like, we replaced one of them. We're like, how long has that been beeping for? He's like, the house just beeps. Like, Manav, how long have you lived here? He's like, 6.5 years. Dude, how long have they been? And then to make things worse, we replaced the one smoke detector battery. We get back to our, like, happenings. And things are louder, we're talking and stuff. And then off in the distance, way off in the basement, I think, we hear beep. There's 2 of them in the house that had been going for probably 6 years.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's nuts, dude. That's fucking nuts, Trey. I'm with you. That is insane. That's like Chinese water torture level. Like, what are we doing? We're not living the same conscious existence. If you can get through that. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
If you can get through that, you can become a doctor, obviously.
Good point.
You can do it all.
Good point.
Well, I saw a meme that was, or like a quote online that was like, why are pit bulls so violent? It's like, you would be too if you had to hear a smoke detector chirp every minute for your entire life.
That's really funny.
And again, this is along income lines, not racial.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It is an income lines thing, but it's commonly like portrayed in most things as a racial thing.
Yeah.
That's
That's wild. Oh my gosh, it's so
Yeah.
funny.
But audience, I'm not going to tell you how to stereotype people, whether you
You
want to do
do
it
it.
along income or racial lines. That's up to you, the viewer, at
Yeah.
home, to decide who you are.
And remember that our stance here at Top Shelf Studios is if you think that you're showing up in a place is going to equal an outcome, that's just silly. We don't matter, and have a good night. I think that's our stance, right?
Yeah.
Uplifting words.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to think that progress meant something, and it seemed like it used to. But I don't know. Didn't that? I hate to bring this up, but I think we're late enough that I could bring it up. Hey, didn't that Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, that girl that they took advantage of? Didn't she?
Virginia Giuffre?
No, Virginia. Carr tried to hit her this week,
Yeah,
and then Carr tried to hit her, and then
was just in a hospital, and then all of a sudden left and then died.
well, they checked her out of the hospital. She was fine after the car hit her, and then that's when you kill yourself.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Interesting.
I only saw the headline. I haven't even looked into it because I don't feel like I even have to look into
Well,
it.
she
right?
tweeted. I'll tell you this. This is good context. She tweeted out in the last, I think it was like 2 months, that like, I am not suicidal, and I've addressed this with my therapist.
I
And
think that was from 2019.
okay, whatever. Regardless, I still stands. If you say that once, it should stand.
But like, what can you do about it? It's such like a cover-upable way to kill somebody is to like fake a suicide.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How I wish. Yeah, I don't know more context of like if it was one of those where it's like, yeah, she was driving her car and then shot herself 3 times and then ran 4 miles and hung herself and then the car drove itself back type of a deal. It's like,
But hey, man.
some of those are like that. Someone put out a list of like the
Oh yeah, in Russia and stuff. That happened.
no, like here and stuff.
Like it, yeah. Sure.
But the Clinton Foundation?
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation. There it is. Thank you. He knows.
Disappearing people since '97 or whatever.
I don't know, since whenever, dude.
Yeah, that's what I want to look into more because that sounds a lot of fun. Like, I like a fun conspiracy.
I like. Here's a fun one for you. My dad's a pilot, Trey. I've been messing with him when I can about not thinking that we've been to the moon because flat earthers and moon deniers are kind of hand in hand, and this guy sees the curvature of the earth every day, right?
Yeah.
So he knows that we're on a fucking globe, and so it just really riles him up. I think it's keeping him young.
I like that. Yeah.
That's a fun one, right? Like, so I have to dig into it to learn enough about what that side thinks to be able to like.
Yeah, when you have to educate yourself on something stupid to like have a smart, well-planned prank.
Yeah, that was me with the leftism I spoke leftism for the longest time because I learned it from a young age. And then I went to the right in Iowa, and I learned how to speak that side. And I'm like, God, you guys are a lot more like each other than you give each other credit for. You know?
Yeah, I love my like siblings and family are like endlessly entertained by me having like all the leftist knowledge. Like I understand like all the like gender politics and stuff that they just like it. There's like what the.
So you come over to Thanksgiving, and you're the woke encyclopedia for the group, and they enjoy that.
Yeah, woke encyclopedia. I like that.
They get brought up to speed.
Yeah, because they'll all have questions, and I can field them in a detached manner where I'm like, this is what they're saying, and they're like, and I'm like, I'm just here as a resource for you.
I
for
think
when you need me.
that's my problem, Chris, and you've helped me identify this. I speak in a very non-detached manner at almost all times, and I am almost always very detached from the things I am emphatically speaking about. And that's why people think I need to struggle with that with some people that don't get me or whatever, think I'm whatever. I've just stumbled upon this because of this lovely guest.
Enlightenment.
Trey he's very aligned chakra. This man.
So big.
His
Biggest chakras, the clearest.
So big.
dude.
Too fast and hard.
My goodness.
They call him Chakra Khan.
What's another fun conspiracy theory? Chakra Khan. What a guy.
A fun one.
Huge guy.
I think my favorite one is actually one that my girl turned me on to, which was the government cheese tunnels.
Dude, like this is a great one. This is a great one. Do you know the printer ink one too?
No,
I'll go here next. No, do this one first.
Oh, okay. Well, essentially, the government to prop up farmers during the Great Depression just had an open order for all the milk and all the cheese, all the milk that they could possibly produce because they needed to subsidize these farms to keep them from going under, keep people from losing their farms, and also maintain the food supply during the Great Depression. So in order to be able to like use all this milk, they had to turn a ton of it into cheese because obviously cheese keeps much longer. And then they just had billions of dollars worth of cheese coming in every year consistently because they never ended this subsidy. And that just led to these literal tunnels filled with cheese. Do you know what state they were in?
Look at you.
But they just tunnels filled with cheese that the government owned because they just had to keep propping up.
I'm pretty sure that's what's in Fort Knox.
Yeah, it's just cheese. It's government cheese, baby.
That's where they put it.
And so, like the Missouri. So the canary in the coal mine for this was low income, particularly like black families, would receive government assistance for food in terms like in cheese. Like they would get a ton of cheese from the government. So it led to the term government cheese, which you can see in like 90s hip hop and stuff like that. It's like the term for like money and for free things.
And now you can take your EBT card to TikTok and your whole family to Walmart.
Bro, at its largest, 1.2 billion pounds of cheese.
Wow,
that's a lot of
government cheese.
That's an unfeasible amount of cheese. Like the mind cannot comprehend that much cheese.
Damn, we couldn't export that cheese.
But in more recent years, it turned into they stopped making more cheese and they tried to just pawn milk off on people, which was the Got Milk campaign.
Yep.
Which is
we're very familiar. We grew up in the prime time. We had Dwight Howard was on our weight room in high school. Got Milk.
That shit was free in my dreams.
Yeah.
They took Michelle Obama's school lunch program, took the blue and orange milks out of our public school system. They were so good. There was definitely some dyes in there that didn't need to be in there. That was so good. So good, dude.
What is it? Dyes or chemical waste?
Oh, it was bad, whatever it was, but it was good.
I'm pretty sure the FDA or the HHS RFK, formerly my boy RFK, now just RFK.
Really? Not your boy anymore?
No, he's really sold out pretty hard.
Really, of all the candidate members, I think I'd push back and say he hasn't. Of all the candidate members.
Well, he's now using HHS resources to fight the scourge of anti-Semitism across the country.
Well, I'm with you that's not good. Okay, that's a great example. That's a go. I'll take that.
He also he promised his constituents, his voters, people who really wanted to see an effect of a third party in the actual election. He promised not to withdraw, and he withdrew to get HHS from Trump, which was just a massive betrayal of any ability to have a third party system and sort of fight against the duopoly, which was the biggest betrayal.
Okay, I'll push back against that because I think we've already got proven through Bernie's like getting fucked over and boot stomped by the party system that you just were going to get abused to no effective end. And he took the route of like, well, either I can still be sitting and hearing crazy people talk to me in Senate hearings like Bernie is and not having meaningful change, or I can try to maybe get one thing I want. And that would be my counterfactual to that. Of like, he then was like, all right, well, I really care about autism, whether that's right or wrong, or I really care about this, getting the dyes out of food that are made from oils. I think that's what they passed this week, right? You can't have food artificial dyes made from oil-based things, which is what Red 40 and all these other things are.
Mm-hmm. I understand the decision he made. I still think it was a massive betrayal to his constituents and people who I would say if I could have any one political issue, it would be anti-duopoly. It's just get a third party. Like, let's end first past the post voting in the general elections.
Yeah, just change the voting system from single member district plurality to something else.
Yes.
Yeah. To anything else.
To
literally any other system.
Because then we're stuck in this like swing back and forth. Like, even though Democrats failed on every level and allowed Trump to get reelected, they're still going to win the next elections because we just swing back and forth on this shitty pendulum between two terrible options.
And we
don't have an exit door.
And we've gotten more and more extreme in the swinging, have we not? Since we killed the one that tried to threaten the pendulum's dynamics, the people that swing the pendulum, may I say?
Yeah. So ranked choice voting or ending campaign finance.
Well, I mean, that's not happening.
Yeah, because the people who would have to do it are the ones who regulate it.
And the people that families eat dinner because of it, because they become part of the system, they become head of whatever, and then they go sit on the head of a group that lobbies, and then they work for Pfizer or whatever. It's like a revolving door.
The revolving door of the lobbyist to department head pipeline.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all, but see, here's the thing. You and I have never talked about this before, and we both know like a lot about what's wrong in our politics. And I think that general, like the internet has democratized this information and brought us to a point where we are getting closer to actually having like consensus on just being against the establishment, which has been, able to preserve itself so well over such a long time. And I think that we're like, I don't know what a revolution would even look like. It wouldn't be a violent one because LOL, we would not. Yeah, that wouldn't be the way to go. But like, I think just voter, like the anti-oligarchy stuff we're seeing on the left. I love that. The populism we're seeing on the right. I love that. I think that some merging, like it's got to be a populist revolution. We got to figure out what unites us rather than what divides us, and put the culture war to the side and fight the class war for a while, because we've only ever lost the class war and we're still losing, but we're actually aware of what's happening now.
And there's only like, this is a terrible joke. I'm going to preface it with that because it needs to be prefaced. It's that bad. Terrible joke to follow. Yeah, and there's only like a couple thousand people that need to die.
Yeah.
Right? That's the nice thing about this wealth consolidation thing is there's only a couple thousand people that have all the money now.
That's a pretty good point.
That's a really good joke.
No, phenomenal. Thank you for
Back in the day when everybody had the money, oh, that's a lot of people. That's a whole country, multiple countries to deal with. My goodness. Now it's like 400, 500 guys.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's really, really close to the point.
0.1,
Yeah. Fucking A, dude.
Yeah, just a few more healthcare CEOs and
no, that's
good.
the fucked part is it's not guys like that. Truly, it is not guys like Brian Thompson.
It's guys you've never. Well, it's Larry Fink and then 20 other guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Charles Schwab, Larry Fink, Klaus Schwab,
David Ellison, and yeah.
Oh, who's David Ellison?
Look it up. I think
Is he the big behind the scenes Wyoming guy?
He's connected with all the banking stuff. I don't.
Oh, is that Yellowstone?
Can't remember, dude. There's so many people to keep up with. But yeah, like how many billionaires are there? How many billionaires are there in the United States? I guess there's your.
It's like.
Also,
like
you don't need to off those people. You need those people to sit down and realize that 2.5% rake off of a smaller class of impactable evil transactions is better than 5%, for a shorter amount of time until everybody dies.
I think it's just that.
Can I ask you something real quick? Sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to lose this question. What do you think about young people losing belief in systems? Like I worry that the biggest thing on regardless of sides is that if you get this group of 20 to 50 that don't believe and buy into an ideal, a shared whatever, that gets really externally tough, and it ends up picking its bad claws in a lot of different areas as I see it. And how do we pull back? Do you see young people pulling back from believing in systems, and what are your thoughts on that?
I see a lot of disenfranchisement with a lot of the current systems for like good reason. I think that some of it's very good, like the lack of faith in corporate press is really good. Mm-hmm. Like people no longer believe what they're being told by like New York Times or MSNBC or Fox News. Like they're pulling back from just like and like trying to think more critically. And I think that like what I was talking about with like class consciousness and us being aware, I think that's very good. I think that what America is and what makes America or like has made America like prosperous, that's the word I'm looking for, in the past can be like re-envisioned in another generation. Because I think that people want to have something to hope in, but there's not really anything that's presenting itself to everybody.
Yes. So that's my worry is if we go for another 10, 15 years of essentially sharecrop, rat race, stuck in the box,
digital
vending
feudalism.
machine digital feudalism. Yeah. Thank you. Much better term than the shit I'm going down. Digital feudalism. Then I don't know if you can reel it back. You get enough people that don't believe, don't buy in, don't see any. And Canada, you see with Canada and the maid stuff that we were talking about on the Patreon, not to plug it again, but yeah, Canada since 2021 has killed more per capita, has killed Canadians more than any other cause of death.
Yeah, 4.7% of all deaths in Canada were from assisted suicide. I looked that up in the bathroom between
4.7% of deaths.
Yeah, well, that's AI, so that actually might be inaccurate. It's the AI overview. I didn't read any articles. That's the poisoning myself version of
gotta do.
I'm just poisoning the well of information that we're discussing. But I have belief in the human spirit. I think that people can rally, and I think that like if you've ever been depressed and then you've not been depressed, you can see the difference between like when you're in the hole versus when you're out of it and you're seeing sunlight again and like things are good and you have like hope and faith. I think it's just we've been in the hole for so long that like whenever we get out, like whenever there is something to hope and like a common goal as a society for us to work towards, I think that people will jump on board and like be like hopeful and happy again. And I think that it only takes like a slight shift for that to happen. Like think about how hopeful people were for the beginning of this Trump administration before we actually saw what he was going to do. I was hopeful. I thought that there was some. I didn't vote for him any of the 3 times, not once, not a single time.
Pussy. Pussy.
Yeah, because I'm a pussy.
Pussy.
But this time I was like, oh, okay, he got elected, like popular vote. He has a mandate. People wanted to bring down prices.
You gave him a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, they gave him a benefit of the doubt. People wanted to bring down prices.
Like to start the term.
I did. And then, man, what a first 100 days we've had.
Back then.
Yeah, we saved $150 billion through the Doge program to invest in the Pentagon.
Yes, dude. And
so we saved $0 and increased to $1 trillion defense budget. But yeah, I think like people were very hopeful, and people thought that like some good might come out of him having like full control and a mandate, I don't know, like deporting people who are here illegally. I was kind of pumped about that, I'll be honest. But the way that they've gone about it has been awful, just terrible.
Oh, gee, well, they arrested a fucking judge the other day.
And they're deporting
that judge
U.S.
was housing
citizens.
illegal immigrants.
I know, but
I mean, hey, you just because you sit on the bar doesn't mean you can get arrested. They arrested the fucking former sitting president, Trump.
Well, I mean,
So that's what I find so funny about that is the same people that were like, they arrested a judge are the exact same people that are like, fuck it, they arrested Trump, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's hilarious because both sides are just the same.
It's hard
all
to see.
games.
It's hard to find ideological consistency where people will hold the same view for the people they dislike versus the people they like. It's like due process. Due process matters for anybody, even if it's somebody who is here illegally. Like you have to like they still have protected rights to a hearing.
That argument is like no point at this point because they're deporting people that are American citizens.
That's right.
Yeah.
They sure are.
That's fucked.
How many American citizens have been deported?
Well, I mean,
Not many. Handful, but the number should be 0.
Wait, weren't they all related to like things that were like brought in, like they were like things in bags or things?
Speculative evidence of like under like
I don't know. I thought I read
members or things like that.
See, I thought I read one person had like
the big dude that the Supreme Court just ruled had to come back that they're still not bringing back did nothing.
What's that case? Is that
Abrego
the Maryland man?
Garcia?
What's that?
Abrego Garcia? Yeah.
Is that the Maryland man? Which one is this?
No, was that the gay barber, the gay makeup artist?
But I can't remember where he's from. But they were saying that he had like ties to Venezuelan gangs and things like that, and they were like using pictures that were photoshopped with tattoos that he didn't have.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like those.
That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Like, all right, here's my deportation plan if I'm president. Make it so that if you're here illegally, you cannot work. Like you can't get a job. We're enforcing like
that's the best way to go about it.
That's
right?
it. That's all you have to do. You cannot work.
But the problem with that, and the reason he didn't do that, is because that would have to come at rich people's interest to make money.
Yeah,
right.
Because
Right.
everybody loves depressed wages and the ability to strike break and increasing demand for housing and all goods across the board because we have a larger population, largest non-U.S. born population in U.S. history. What is it? So the conservative estimates, it's anywhere from 4 to 10% of people living in America are not citizens and not here, are here like seeking asylum or what have you. That is 4 to 10% larger increase of demand for housing for all goods. And what do you think? What does that do to prices? Economics? That raises them. So if you actually want an affordable living, that is one of many ways to go about it is to decrease the non-resident population. By self-deportation. There's no fucking flights back to Mexico or anything like that. Offer them a bus ticket if they want to go back to Mexico, Venezuela, wherever they're heading. That's so cheap. That's $80 per person instead of what, like a flight that costs,
I think we can give them a flight.
$200,000.
Hang on. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. We are the global hegemonic power. We can literally drop tungsten rods from space and eliminate cities. I think we can get these Mexicans a flight.
That's fine. All right, you know what?
That's my stance on that.
But it's going to be Frontier, and you're not going to carry on.
Southwest Boeing Group 3.
Southwest has reserved seats now.
Dude, what the hell is this country coming to? That's the real rub of it. Southwest is fucking making you pick seats now?
Yeah, we used to be in serious
fist fights. Well, I think it's probably got something to do with people's behavior and people acting unruly. I would almost guarantee they've had enough incidents over the last 3 years. They're like, we can't do this shit anymore. People are picking fights over middle seats.
Dude, people need to chill, bro.
People do need to chill.
Yeah.
Chris, do you want a second here to talk about this?
People need to chill on the ground. People need to chill on the metal tube. You know, like it just elevates the stress. Like it's fucking. I hate.
I mean, I feel less chill. Do you feel less chill in your car? Are you a road rage kind of person?
I kind of can be, but not at other people. I'm not like screaming at people on the street.
Sure.
I do this thing where I'll get really frustrated and I'll just bang on my center console.
Nice. See, I just want people
Doesn't
to
affect
not
anybody
be.
else.
I just hate running into the lower quartile.
Rather than banging into the lady with 3 kids trying to stop early at a light, she doesn't want to run the yellow.
Yeah, those people need to chill.
Everyone fighting her at the window.
See, I know how to. My dad has like ideas of how to fix drivers and stuff. What do you think? You might like this idea. Someone I'm going to pitch this to. Every year that you go on the DMV, you get your like registration, or maybe they mail it to you, right? And so you get your sticker. With that sticker is 3 paintballs that are the state issued paintball color for that year. And you get to drive around and dispense those 3 paintballs at your leisure throughout the year at any driver that you like on the roads. Now, if your car gets hit with 3 paintballs, you have to go in and take a class, or you lose your license for 6 months until you take that class and you become re-educated on how to fucking drive properly on these roads.
Oh, the abuse I would see in this system.
Hang on.
Counterfeit paintballs.
Okay, so do you think we need to set the baseline at 4? Do you think you should be able to allow to empty your full clip on a friend to make him take a class? Is basically how simple you can make the question. Can you should it be that I can empty a clip on Chris just to make him take a class, and that's my year clip? Like, is that the bar, or should I make it 4?
Just I can just see me and my family members doing that to my sister until she starts using her blinker for once. Like, it's just, how many years in a row do we have to do this, Logan? How many years until you use your fucking blinker? All right, it's this motion. It's while you're already moving the fucking handle. It's not hard. It's not hard. Yeah,
so funny.
I sent her a Snapchat yesterday of a bumper sticker that says, "Use your damn blinker." It's a very real thing.
I mean, dad solutions to stuff, I mean, they seem oversimplified, but sometimes they work. Like my dad, he's got a solution to soccer. Just if it's tied after half, just add another ball.
That is so simple and so effective. I really like that. It's tied at the half. I guess we'd have to do the same thing for hockey.
I mean, I'm with it. I'm with it. I mean, hockey's still exciting when it's tied.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Come on.
I mean, well, yeah, the puck gets to the scoring area so much faster.
If you're in a European city and you love smoking cigarettes and not contributing to a growth of a GDP, yeah, being in a crowd of football fans seems like an awesome time. But I'm trying to, see asset returns for the rich over here. I'm trying to have my rat wheel race and go to someone, higher and better than me.
You just touched on something. Do you think that alcoholism and the interest in soccer are like correlated?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Chris?
I mean, I think just anywhere spending long periods of time engaged in a singular activity that's not active, like obviously you're going to be doing things to like grease the time as it goes by. So like I think alcoholism and drinking is just common in things like that. Like,
I think specifically soccer though, because it's the most boring of the sports.
Yeah.
Like that and NASCAR.
Dude,
that and NASCAR.
Is a great point.
Because I think those are the two that have the highest alcoholism fans.
Can you look that up? Is there any studies on this?
NASCAR is for the simple man. Okay?
Yeah. Can you run a study on this real quick?
NASCAR is probably for the happiest people on earth. Let's be honest about this.
NASCAR. Did you know at NASCAR they let you bring in a keg?
Wait.
You can bring in a keg to the stadium.
I don't doubt that.
That's incredible.
Not to the stands, but probably to the special sections that are like outside of like.
Yeah.
The stands, they let you just pull. They're like, get her on in your
boat.
Yeah, corny keg.
No, I have a buddy. One of my good friends from college lives in Florida, and he goes to Daytona every year, and he fucking brings a keg with him every time. And like sometimes he'll just like let the people sitting around and hit the keg, because you're not going to finish a keg on your own. But the novelty of having a keg and the friends you make along the way,
it's a great social lubricant. I mean, having a keg.
Dude, yeah, I've been sober for 9 months. I'm almost done.
So what's the deal here? Tell me about this.
So I was having a ton of health problems last summer. But essentially what happened was every time I would drink, I would be dizzy for days. So I would just I would get like muscle weakness and stuff. And I went and saw a neurologist, and he was like, he's like, when was the last time you took a week off drinking? And I was like, I haven't since I turned 21. And so apparently you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take some breaks every once in a while. Yeah, because apparently if you never let your gut flora establish and you just kill them every day by drinking, and then you just do that for 10 years, your body doesn't like that, and it starts to shut down. And so I was causing muscular damage and also brain damage from not taking a break. And so they're like, my liver enzymes have fully healed and everything's pretty much good. I'm just making it to a year because I'm never going to go another year again. It's so boring. It's so boring. I just hit the 9 months mark just so I could prove to my sister that my niece's face didn't have to look like that. That's a joke.
That's a really good joke. You should do that on stage, please.
I have. Okay, yeah, it gets a strong reaction, but not a laugh.
Sure. Yeah, do that in the Midwest, the South. That'll get a laugh.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. That's just people that are a little stuck up.
But yeah, it's been super boring. I miss drinking. I think about it all the time.
What was your drink of choice?
Dude, I love a Guinness.
Let's have a talk about it like you're you're an alcoholic and you're never going to see it again. Like you're an 85-year man and you just looking back on the good old days. Let's talk about it. What's that drink of choice?
Love going into a bar that just has the vague smell of the drinks spilled the night before. Little bit you can the sunbeams from sunset coming through the small windows, and a hot but not traditionally attractive woman, like big tits, bad face, like a bartending on you, maybe a snaggletooth. She's got a couple kids,
like a Darla.
Oh yeah, Darla. Yeah, she likes to talk.
No, Darla's here to listen, honey.
She's got a big chest piece tattoo.
Oh yeah,
that you're like, why would anybody ever get a big chest piece tattoo like that? It covers her it covers her gals. And yeah, she pours you a Guinness draft.
Oh.
From, the half pour, lets it sit, and then the other half tilted. And then she serves you that up, and that's your first beer that you've had in a week, and you're just fucking.
And she tells you that she went to Ireland to learn how to pour it like that, back in the day.
I went to the Guinness factory.
6 p.m. You haven't eaten since 7.
Oh. My goodness.
Yeah.
Damn. It takes me back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you to get back on the horse.
Me too,
3 more months.
Yeah.
You have a date? Do you have a delivery date?
Yeah, it's July 21st. It's also my girlfriend's birthday. Because I quit on her birthday.
You quit on her birthday?
Yeah. So her birthday, we had the worst fucking day. It was hilariously bad. We went, all right, so the whole weekend was hilarious. We went to Buena Vista and we got a yurt.
One of the best places on earth.
I love Buena Vista. So yeah, we got a glamping yurt, and the night before her birthday, we go out, and she's wearing this. I should pull up the pictures just to show you. She's wearing this white dress that's layered, and she's dressed like a wedding cake.
Yeah.
Okay, and she goes out, and our waitress goes, "Oh my God, congrats, you two!" and so that's
how long have you guys been together?
Year and a half.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a little jump in the gun for her to dress like a wedding cake.
Hey, I love a strong woman that signals strong. Good for her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the dress she was wearing.
Yes, that's so funny.
It's
that does kind of look like a wedding cake.
So yeah, then the next day I'm a little bit hungover, but these fucked up symptoms are in full swing, and I'd been cutting back drinking for months to try and get them, because they always went away, but I was dizzy and my leg hurt, and we go on it's raining, and we go on a rafting trip, which I don't know if y'all have been on
that Arkansas River is a son of a bitch.
Yeah. But it wasn't an intense rafting trip. It was one where it's a bunch of Christian teens or our raft guides, and they're all oh my God, it's
See, you want the ayahuasca raft guides, not the river teen raft guides. Like,
Yes.
you want a guy that's 28 that just came back from Venezuela for 2 years and like found him. Yeah, dude, that's the raft guide.
So we walked right into this though, because the rafting company was called Noah's Ark.
Yeah, you did.
So we should have known it was going to be a bunch of Christian teens. But we get, so we show up and they're like, they fit us for our suits and everything. And we're like ready to go. We're like, awesome. We're about to get on the river. We're both a little hungover. We're tired. We're like, okay, but it's raining. And then they're like, all right, walk down to the river. It's time for the safety demonstration. And then they do the safety demonstration with a bunch of like jokes thrown in.
Right.
And I'm just like, my girl taps me on the leg. She's like, are you okay? After like 20 minutes. And I'm just like screaming internally, like where it's just like all like when in a movie, they'll like zoom in on somebody's face and you just hear like the like just like the rage noise. That's what's going on in my head. And then
after the safety demonstration, they're like, all right, we're going to baptize everyone real quick.
Yeah.
One by one.
Pretty much. And then we get into the rafts and they're like, we're going down the Arkansas, and they're like, this is what I call Duck Rock, because it kind of looks like a duck. And then you look at it, you're like, that looks nothing like a duck. And she's like, and then once we pass it looks like a thumb. And she's like, did you see it, how it looks like a thumb once you pass it?
Jesus
Just
Christ.
the worst call outs. And I have to pee so bad during this 4-hour trip. And I finally and I have like a shy bladder, and like I hop out and they're like, yeah, this is like an eddy. You can hop out and get in the water if you want. And then 10 seconds after I get in, I like finally get a stream going. She's like, all right, you ready to get back in? Let me help you. And so I have to cut midstream and get pulled back onto this raft to get told, like, this is Tiger Rock. I call it Tiger Rock. They don't call it that. It's just me, Julia, your 16-year-old tour guide.
Hang on.
Jesus.
Cut off midstream, bro. That doesn't happen. You were pissing down your leg then.
Yeah, well, I was in a wetsuit.
Oh, okay.
But no, I did actually cut it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That hurts, though.
Tiger
Yeah.
Rock.
And so every for Tiger Rock. And then so every bump we were hitting, I was just like in pain.
Oh, no, brother.
And then we finally get back to the car after 4 hours. Oh, wait, no, sorry. On the bus ride back, they have like this comedy routine, like a 2-woman show where they're like, and it's Bible jokes thrown in with rafting jokes. They're like, and that's when Noah said, and 2 of each kind, and like all this other, like, I don't know if you ever went to, either y'all ever go to Jesus camp, like Bible camp?
Oh, yeah.
Essentially.
So like you can imagine what I mean when I say like a 2-woman Bible sketch show.
Yeah, no, we're laughing hard because we know.
Yeah, and it was on this school bus ride, and apparently while we're on the bus ride back, I couldn't. My girlfriend, we were already in like a silent fight, and she was just turned to the window, and she had just been crying, I guess. And we get back to our car, and she's like, I'm like finally taking off all my clothes. She's like, don't you have to return your? And I go, can I help you? and she starts crying again and walks to the passenger seat.
Oh no.
And I like return all of our stuff, and I get in the car and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry I snapped at you. It's just, and she goes, that was the worst fucking experience. And I'm like, okay, so, and she's like, it's okay, I always cry on my birthday. And I'm like, well, that's a dark rule that you have.
Let's unpack.
Hopefully we can change that in the future. But
Yeah.
she'll probably cry this birthday too.
No, maybe it's a lady thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, and I don't want to be sexist and say it's a lady, not to call
Yeah,
you.
that is sexist.
But no, I was talking to her. I was like, she was like, do I cry a lot? I was like, you definitely cry more than like most of the women I know. And she's like, no, whatever. I cry maybe once a week on average. And after we had that conversation, she cried every day for 10 days in a row.
I'll tell you this. How about this? Here to defend myself. I've never heard from a guy, it's okay, every year I cry on my birthday. I've heard from multiple women. Every year, it's okay, every year I cry on my birthday. So there's my stance.
Okay, well, let me empathize for a moment with another story. When I was in college, I was there for Maymester in Boulder, and I was just living in my buddy's like total shit sty apartment before I moved into my place for the summer. And he had a bunch of like movies and stuff that and I actually, hang on, I missed a step. I had just come off a round of pro hormones, so like steroids, like low grade steroids. And so I was, I'd just come off them like right before I got back to Boulder, and I started watching Batman, or I just like got so sick. And I had like all these flu-like symptoms, and I was just feeling so run down. And I started watching Batman Begins in my buddy's bed, And I just could not stop crying after the scene where his parents die. Spoiler alert for Batman Begins.
Kind of how the whole thing got started, by the way.
Yeah. But they don't all know that. Somebody's just getting into Batman for the first time. True. But yeah, I just couldn't stop crying, and I called my buddy who had like set me up on the steroids, and I was like, "Hey man, I feel terrible. Like, what's going on? Like, do I need to take something? What's happening?" And he's like, "Are you not on any estrogen blockers?" And I said, "No." And he's like, you didn't cycle off. You just stopped taking steroids and you just expected everything to be fine. How are your tits?" I go, "Sensitive." And he picked me up like 20 minutes later, and we went to the fucking supplement store and got me estrogen blockers, and I felt fine the next day. But let me tell you guys, PMS is really hard.
For sure.
And I empathize with it because I experienced it firsthand as a man just by not monitoring my own hormones. And estrogen's a hell of a hormone. They really have to deal with a lot. Shout out to all my ladies out there.
Yeah. Big ladies out there, we love you.
Yeah. Shout out to the big ladies.
Have you heard of this country called England? This silly little nation state that used to be a hegemonic global power.
Yeah, and then they lost it all.
Oh yeah, we got Big Mike for this.
Oh, those are niggas with the peas and mash.
Thanks, Big Mike. And they do this thing over there called knighting here at Top Shelf Studios. After a long form conversation, I'm doing the hiding because all my life people have been like, "Hey, can I get a couple inches? You play basketball? How's the weather up there?" And I've come to learn now that I've got this prefrontal lobe that I'm just waking up in a vehicle every day, and we're all just waking up these meat suits that we drive. It's like, we're judging each other on these vehicles and meat suits almost more than anything else in this life, and it seems rather silly to me. So after a long form conversation, I am pleased to give you a heart height. How tall do you stand physically?
5'11".
Trey Marchant, I heart height thee 6'8". As a large heart, you might require a procedure at some point.
He's got a big heart, this fella.
But we can recommend a doctor.
Excellent.
Dude, this gift, I will say, I want to just acknowledge this again before we end. I am overjoyed. This will be something I will never let leave my home, and I hope I have a fight about down the road with my wife. I'll be happy to fight over this with my wife someday.
Worthy.
Where can the fans check you out? Where can people see you do comedy? I want to...
At Trey Marchant Comedy on all platforms, particularly give me a follow on Instagram. And yeah, check out the next TK Asian Cuisine show that we're having next month. We don't have a date set yet, but yeah, if you follow me on socials, you will find out the date as it approaches. Okay.
We're going to be a little backlog with our studio change, but hopefully you won't miss out on the May date. If you do, June, you're going to be out there. You got to come out. TK Asian Cuisine. It's a great place to see a show. They had me out for a guest spot, and man, what a venue. It's the owners are kind, the people laugh hard. I mean, not all bar shows are awesome. This one is, so go do it. Go check it out. Make it awesome. Sheesh. Anything else in your life that you want to end on? Any good messages? Any words of aspiration for young people out there that might be listening? America, how fix? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, just remember that there's more that you that the average American has in common with one another than we have different, and don't let yourselves be divided by people who have no interest in you.
Amen to that. Go follow him. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Support him. Support artists. Support yourself. Fuck off and be well.